Michael Jordan right here with Stephen A. Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. Let's get right to it. Let's get to your team. Obviously, this NBA season, I don't know if I've been as excited about an NBA season as I am about this season coming up, MJ. You guys, the now Charlotte Hornets, no longer the Charlotte Bobcats, the Charlotte Hornets. You won 43 games. Last year, you were a playoff team. Talk to me about how you're feeling about your team and what the expectations are for you guys this year.
Well, I'm excited. I was excited all summer. We didn't end it right. We played Miami, who was a much stronger team, but we didn't play them full strength. Big Al was hurt. It was the first time we've been in the playoffs, so the experience played a big factor. But I've been excited with the acquisitions of Lance, Marvin, Brian Roberts, our young draft picks. So, I was interested to see how, coach is going to put together these pieces and improve on what we did last year. So, it's a lot of energy down here. The name change, kind of got everything going along with, playoffs and then some new acquisitions. So it's an exciting, prospect year for us, So let's see what happens. Let's get it started, and hopefully we can stay healthy. If we stay healthy, I think we're going to make some noise in the East.
No, when you and I spoke a few months ago, you were talking about Al Jefferson, and one of the things that you were raving about as it pertained to him was the fact that he was old school. He was a big guy that played big, and in today's game, you don't see that as much. Talk to me about what you see from him, particularly when you consider how today's game, particularly at his position, is so much more of a finesse game than it used to be.
Well, it is a finesse game, and rarely do you find that low post threat. Now everything is a hybrid, 4, hybrid 5, hybrid 3. The versatility aspect of the game has changed so much that the dominant center, that post player, is not really as prevalent as it used to be. And the thing that I like about Big Al is that, he creates a demand for us, and once you create the demand, it's up to us to build pieces around that demand to kind of lessen some of the focus a little bit and give yourself a little better balance. We can expect, even with the focus that Big Al had last year, he was a 20-10 guy. He's done it for years, and you can count on that as long as he stays healthy. Now, if we can figure out other components around him, it makes us a little bit more well-rounded basketball team. So, I love what he does. It's an old-school approach. It used to be that way. Jabbar, Will Chamberlain, all these guys, Patrick Ewing, they all played that type of game. And it's kind of disappeared a little bit, but Big Al brings it back.
We're talking to Michael Jordan right here, Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. One of the other guys that I think about when it comes to your team is Lance Stephenson. He's now a member of the Charlotte Hornets as opposed to the Indiana Pacers. I think that's a big-time pickup for you guys, and one of the things that surprised me pleasantly, I might add, one of the things he had a problem with Indiana is that they wanted him long-term, and he didn't mind doing a 3-year deal because he's anxious to prove what he's worth. Tell me what you've seen from Lance Stephenson and what your expectations are for him this season.
Well, he led the league in triple-doubles last year. So, he could be a glue, a facilitator. If you get enough pieces around, he knows how to play all aspects of the game, And we have Kemba at the guard. We have Big Al. We got Marvin on the perimeter. We got Gerald Henderson. MKG is probably the most improved that we have on our team. I think Lance could connect all these dots, and with MKG can set a defensive presence at that 2-3 position that, gives us a good staple for who we are. We were a defensive-focused team, even though we had Big Al last year, but defense was our staple. With, Lance, hopefully that's going to add to our defensive, intensity and consistency that gives us a chance to win games when offensively we may struggle. That, to me, is important, especially when you talk about being a playoff team.
Now, MJ, I'm your boy, so I can say these things to you. I've been watching you on TV. The suits are looking quite smooth. You seem very, very comfortable being an executive. I'm kind of wondering, how often are you getting down to the court and trying to school the Lance Stephensons of the world and some of these guys? Is that still MJ? Is MJ doing that kind of stuff, or have you resigned yourself to being an executive and you're leaving that kind of stuff to the coaches? What's going on?
I get away from that. I do more verbal instruction as opposed to physically getting down. I used to, but I feel like I've gotten away from that a little bit, and Yeah, rightfully so. I mean, I take the business side of this game and this business very seriously. Not that I didn't take basketball or me getting down and teaching and educating the guys. I take that seriously as well. But I'm more verbal now than physical. So I refrain to keep the suit on as of right now.
The great Michael Jordan right here with Stephen A. Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Back to basketball. Just scouring the league right now. I look at Kobe Bryant and listen. I work for ESPN, and even I had to get on ESPN because I couldn't believe they had 40 players. They had 39 players ranked better than Kobe Bryant as the greatest, the 6-time champion who knows basketball better than most, if not all of us. You see a ranking like that, Kobe ranked 40th. What comes to your mind, Michael Jordan?
I wouldn't rank that. It's hard to rank players, and in all honesty, I think that's a bad ranking. And I think it creates conversation, just as you and I talked about. If it was left up to me, there's no way I'm gonna rank Kobe Bryant 40th. Now, to me, I think he's definitely taken a step back because he's gone through a couple of injuries, but all the way down to 40, I have a tough time. And if I'm Kobe Bryant, which I'm not going to pay attention to it, I'm going to let it fuel me as a basketball player to prove. And that's a great challenge for him, So it's not what we think, it's what Kobe thinks. And I think Kobe knows he's not, ranked 40th. And he's going to, set out to prove differently. And that's a competitor's thinking. And I totally understand. I would do the same. I can't control what everybody else is thinking.
In today's NBA, you look at guys like a LeBron James. He's won 2 championships. He's lost 3. I remember Magic Johnson. He won 5 championships but may have lost 4. One of the things that I often say when people ask me about comparisons to Michael Jordan, it's not just the fact that you have 6 rings. It's the fact that you are unblemished in 6 NBA Finals appearances and you were the MVP in each NBA Finals. To me, that ends the conversation about anybody being compared to you, particularly in the modern day era. When you hear the LeBron James comparisons, the Kobe comparisons, the Dwayne Wade, the list goes on and on, what kind of thoughts come to your mind?
It's what it is. I mean, it's a standard of measurement that's being compared to different eras. When I came in, I was being compared to Dr. J or David Thompson. So it's a standard of measurement that, we will never know, and it creates more conversation than anything. I never hold a bad image or a bad respect or a comment because of those types of things. I think it's unfair comparisons because LeBron is different than the way that he plays the game totally different than the way I play. Kobe plays against different competition than what I played against, even Dwayne Wade. So it's an unfair comparison, but I know it's a standard of measurement, and it's going to happen. But for me to take, a pro or con effect to it, I never do. I never do, and I totally understand, how things happen and how things are talked about.